Hello, period one. All my beautiful parents, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate your presence being here in my first period United States history class. First thing I want to let you know, this presentation will not be perfect, okay? So congratulations to some of you guys. You guys work so hard during the course of the day, and then you come here to your kid's school and you're tired and you've been working, and it's like, I better hear something good. So I want to make sure that I kind of tell you something good about your kids, even though we know kids and it's still a little bit early, being 5 weeks into a 40-week school year. We know kids are on their best behavior right now. So the purpose of tonight is just to kind of meet up with you and give you a brief overview of my class. Now, the first thing about my U.S. history class is I want it to be extremely cultural relevant. I want kids to understand their background and their history. I want kids to know that African Americans had over 400 patented inventions in the United States. I want kids to know that the original California Constitution is written in English and in Spanish. I want kids to know the unbelievable contribution that Latino Americans have made to this country and why they have a rich, illustrious history and why you guys work so hard to give them the opportunity to be here. I want all my African American kids to know, and all kids to know, that anything is possible here in this country, but nothing is easy. The other thing I always like to try to tell kids' parents is that the most unselfish thing that they could do for the people that they love, which is you, whoops, told you it wouldn't be perfect, is to be successful. Whoops. This is going really good, and then flip down. Yeah, so again, that's kind of what happened. It was kind of crazy. I had to kind of tape this because I'm doing it from my classroom, but I wanted to be as authentic as possible. Okay, so if you look to the wall, it's gonna be to one of the walls is kind of indicative of a lot of different projects that we'll do. Some kids kind of bombed it to start off with, but they were kind of difficult, and I like to give kids the benefit of the doubt. But there'll be tons and tons and tons of projects for history the kids' way, for them to pick and learn history their way. One of the purposes of that is because it's very tough to jam history down kids' throat, and most of the time, us adults, we know we start remembering things about history when they're relevant to who we are. So that's what I like to do in class with the U.S. history students. Now, breakdown, they're gonna have these projects that they're coming home. You probably have already seen them, where they have to watch movies, where they also have to pick a famous figure, where they're writing skits and plays. That's all by design to kind of get the kids into history their way. Now, the way that I address the Common Core standards, parents, is beginning like this week or the next week possibly, because I'm kind of waiting to see if I'm going to have these same kids all year, is we're going to get into thesis statements and investigative, evidential, investigative type writing, because that's what's going to be needed for the Common Core. This class is probably right around 70% projects, 30% writing. The writing is definitely investigative. It's definitely evidence-based writing, and it's different than your average essay simply because if our kids that are in this class have not had a great track record, I want every kid to be able to do the most interesting thing, and that is, or the most important thing to get into college, and that is to be able to write. The majority of the college professors, my dad is a college professor, that the biggest complaint that they have is that children don't know how to write when they get to college. So again, my class is gonna be mainly project-based. It's gonna be mainly lots of different essays. And wow, as long as your kid gives me 100%, this is probably gonna be one of the more fun and easier history classes, at the same time providing some rigor and some challenge from the writing standpoint. For instance, we just had 3 assignments. We had a U.S. history film assignment, and we also had a U.S. Figures Famous Persons project. So you probably want to ask your kid if you're here, hey, what project did you do? What person did you do? And did you learn anything from it? Again, 5 minutes in, I just wanted to give you a brief overview why things were kind of fresh on my mind. And I could take any questions in general about kind of what's going on. A 10-minute video is a lot for people to listen and hear, but I did want to kind of get some thoughts out where they were kind of fresh on my mind. And then I'd love if any parents ask me any questions. Other than that, you should have a syllabus here for you to have a look at. Feel free to go over it with me or with your child when you get home. A lot of times we don't provide syllabuses on the first day because we don't know if that kid is going to be in our class past 5 weeks, and the syllabus get pretty detailed. So we like to pass out the syllabus probably 3 to 4 weeks after, which would probably explain why your kid hasn't had a syllabus. All right, parents, it is awesome for you guys to be here. Any questions are welcome. I tell my kids every day that there is a 100-question limit in my classroom. That means that if you haven't asked me 100 questions, I haven't done my job yet, or you haven't reached your limit. My only thing is make sure that the questions are informed. That means kids have to read first, simply because we want to prepare these kids to be able to implement or go into society seamlessly. Has anybody in here ever gotten a ticket and had to go to the courthouse? It's a maze. Kids need to have survival skills such as being able to read and communicate. And kids also, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, need to be informed, right? And so they have to ask informed questions, which means that pretty much how do you get informed? You get informed through reading, okay? 7 minutes in, we probably got about another 3 minutes to go. At this time, I'll take any questions that you have about my class. Don't really have a lot of time to get into specific children, but if time permits, I may have 15, 20 seconds to give you a brief description of how your kid's doing, maybe in probably about 10 to 20 words or less, right? Thank you again, parents. I'm so happy you're here. The thing that I always notice on parent night is the parents that are there never need to be there. And the reason is because those parents who do their work early don't have to do their work late. Keep up the good work, parents. Much love. Peace.